G'day fellas and welcome to the inaugural game of Age of Empires 4 Dynasties of the East. We are on the live version of this game, of course. Age of Empires 4 is now live with the brand new expansion, so make sure you get it while it's hot. And of course, we are in for the very first FFA for this expansion. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got 4 new civilizations today and every single player in this game is on it. I'm excited for it. I'm sure you are too. Let's get into it and introduce our players today. Oh my lord, look at this game. Oh, I tell you what, it's been a while since I've played FFA, so naturally I look at the minimap and I just I lose my mind a little bit. We'll wait for people to settle into their specific positions, and before we do that, maybe I might just shout out Lash right here, because this game is from his community. For anyone who doesn't know him, he's a German, his community largely German, his stream mainly German, so if you're German and haven't heard of Lash, make sure you go check him out, and if you speak English and you fancy a Conqueror 3 play, make sure you go check him out as well, because he is an incredibly good player. We'll be following along with him today, but of course there's lots of players that we are going to be paying attention to. So without further ado, let's get to it. We'll start off at the 12 o'clock position, ladies and gentlemen, spawning in the north of the map in the color green, playing as the Sengoku Daimyo. It's Crazy Fab. And to his east in the color pink, playing as the Golden Horde, ladies and gentlemen, it's Lash. To his south in the color yellow, playing as the Tughlag dynasty, we've got Gurkenshirk 66. That's a good name, isn't it? I feel like I should put more of a German accent on that. Gurkenshirk. There we go. Much better, Drongo. Thank you. Then we've got, spawning over here as the Macedonian dynasty, we've got Pace Runner. And to his west, very slightly, Inferno Extreme on the Tughlag dynasty. To their south and a little bit to the west in the color light blue, playing as the Tughlag dynasty as well, we've got Leminos. To his north, actually, let's go to his west in the color blue. We got Flotter Otto. He's back again. It's been a while since we've casted Flotter Otto, and he is playing the Tughlag dynasty. And finally, in the middle of the map in the color red, playing as the Macedonians, we've got Lion Sheep. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a casted game. A pleasure to have your company. It's been such a long time since we've had FFA, but if you like FFA, I'll tell you right now, good news. Why is there good news? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Outback Octagon is returning November 19. All the details are on your screen right now, well, let's get that out of here because we've got a little bit of action here. The king taking a bit of damage. So I'll leave a link down in the description to where you can check that out. But I'm sure you already know where it is. It's going to be over on Twitch. And then we'll obviously post all the videos over here on YouTube. They'll slowly trickle in. So keep in mind, like, Outback Octagon will have probably finished. And, you know, it'll be a month later. No, not really a month. Maybe a couple of days. We'll be slightly behind. Yes. So if you want to catch the action, make sure you check it out. It's in pretty time-friendly zones. But anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how this goes down today. Interestingly, we've got 4 players on the Tughlag dynasty. Now, when I'm thinking of FFA and I'm thinking, okay, what's going to be a powerhouse civilization? Naturally, my mind went to the Sengoku dynasty, or Daimyo rather. Apologies, because I'm always just going to call them the Sengoku dynasty, rather the Sengoku Daimyo. So it's curious to me that only one player has looked to go for that option today. So I'm curious to see exactly how Crazy Fapper will do in this game. Of course, we'll also be following along with Lash because we know who he is. He is a creator. He's a Conqueror 3 player, an incredibly good player as well. We've seen him beat people like Vortex. He obviously plays it Outback Octagon. You'll be familiar with him from there. So we're looking forward to seeing exactly what he's got in store for us today. Also, we've got Lion Sheep to keep an eye out. I especially want to watch the Macedonians as well. The Macedonians, of course, very powerful when it comes to their military. Their units have the ability to just, well, they've got the ability to kill things very, very effectively. Now, did we get everybody? Yeah, we got everybody. I was just making sure that we got everyone here because sometimes we miss people, and I don't want to do that. So let's ride on board. Let's take a little bit of a look here. Who are we going to start with? We're going to start with Flotter Otto. Let's have a look at his spawn, see how he's doing. So he's very isolated. So when it comes to picking a favorite for this game, I think you've got to go with Flotter Otto. However, you got to remember that ideally what you want is you want to be like far away from everybody, but you want to have one person close to you, and you want that one person that's close to you to have other people that are close to them. So basically, you can focus on them, but they're going to be focused on the other people. That's what you really want here. And I don't think anyone's particularly got a spawn like that. And arguably, Gurkenshirk has got a spawn like that in the sense that he could look to try and snipe out orange here. So that's something that we could keep an eye out for. Now, I will also say I do like the decision by Lash to play the Golden Horde here. Let me explain my thinking. When it comes to FFA, typically you're thinking of like the big late game army that's powerful and kills everybody, but there's that one game that takes me back in Outback Octagon where Puppy Paw on the Mongols, a civilization arguably considered the worst by far for its inability to build walls and its just terrible ability to defend its king. However, we saw him with early Keshiks just sniping kings across the entire map. So is it on the cards here that we see Lash go for a potential fast castle, maybe 2 TC fast castle into a whole bunch of Tughlag? Oh, sorry, not Tughlag, Tughlag, excuse me. We got some new words to deal with here. A whole bunch of Tughlag, and then look to snipe out some kings? Could be the case. It could be the case, but nonetheless, I'm excited for it. Now, I have seen your comments down below the videos as well, asking, Drongo, when are you returning to FFA? It's been a while since we've seen you on. Well, I think it's time. I think it's time. So I'll have to determine exactly which civilization I go for. I still, you know what? There's like, normally for me, it's a very obvious choice because I go for the one that's most focused around the economy, but there's no one that's really particularly focused on the economy this time. Right, so it makes it a bit more difficult to me. You know me, I'm a boomer at heart. I got my monster can. Is it monster? The white one. I'm on my ride-on lawnmower. I'm a boomer. Anyway, that's my mindset. So I think I still might have to do a little bit of thinking. But we got the age up starting to come through. We got the Dome of the Faith coming in for Flotter Otto. So he's going to be looking to reduce the cost of his healer elephants as well as his imams. Let's check in on our next player. It's going to be Lemonos to the south. He's also going to be going for the Dome of the Faith. We've also got Pace Runner, who is aging up with the Grand Winery here, which is going to be increasing the gather rate of his food, which is very nice. If we think about, professional scouts as an example, lovely to be able to bring all of your deer back here, get that extra 30% gather rate. Very, very nice. Then over towards we've got Inferno Extreme, who has just aged up with the Dome of the Faith as well. So a lot of players favoring the Dome of the Faith here. We'll go back to Gurkenshirk and see how he's doing. He's gone for the Tower of Victory, the one Tughlag Dynasty player who's decided to mix it up a little bit here. Let's check in with Crazy Fab up towards the north. He's gone for Ryokan for the extra 60 population. Extra nice. Now, I guess I should also mention the fact that with regard to the Tower of Victory, it increases the attack speed of elephants by 15%. So very specific there. Not infantry, not ranged units, not siege, just elephants. Well, I mean siege elephants, maybe, as an example. Excuse me. Let's check back in on Lion Sheep, though. And we now see he has begun working with the Imperial Hippodrome. A little bit different from the Byzantine Hippodrome. The way it works is quite simple. It acts as a stable, however, there's champions that emerge. The first champion that always emerges is the Hippodrome Scout. It's got quite a bit of damage and just acts as a scout. After that, you'll get access to the next one. We can see that a champion is currently in tournament, and once that's finished, you'll get a horseman, Hippodrome Horseman champion, and then after that you'll get a Radari, which is their unique unit, which is basically a knight. And then finally we check in once again with Lashin. Oh boy, well, the man who is going for the age up right here, the Khan and Torguds. Have we got a fast castle coming through? We might have a fast castle. This kind of looks like it could be a fast castle. I mean, he is also double fish booming right now. No, he's only got 4 bills on gold. I feel like maybe you'd have a little bit more if you were thinking about going for the castle age. We can see the scout in here doing a whole bunch of work here. I do like the positioning on Lash as well. The one thing to note is that he hasn't actually scouted out that opponent up to the north. Now, I do remember he saw a green villager moving up in that direction, so he may be aware that it's coming through, but he will obviously see all of these players together and naturally say to himself, hey, this looks like a perfect target. So, anyway, we'll see exactly what the play is for him in this game. Yatai out for our players in the north. We'll check in with Crazy Fab. We'll ride on board with him a little bit here. He's got plenty of fish out here if he so chose to come out in that direction. That's the great thing about the Yatai. The Yatai, it's an interesting unit. Let me explain how it works for those who perhaps are new or watching for the first time. A Japanese variant civilization, the Sengoku Daimyo, have access to an early market. It is a unique early market called the Matsuri, and it has the ability to train a Yatai. You've got the ability to train 3 of these in the Dark Age, and every age you go up, you get an extra one, so you can train 4, and then 5, and then 6. And the way it works is quite simple. You put them near food, and they don't consume the food, but they do generate food passively if they're nearby it. So here you can see we're generating 32 food. Not bad. Meanwhile, down here towards the south, the Yeti is generating 40. It might not seem like much, but if you think about it, each one of these is the equivalent of a villager. And so that means that you can start the game, you're obviously making villagers out of your town center, and you can be making the equivalent of a villager out of your Matsuri as well. Now, there's a lot of other mechanics that go along with this. That is definitely not the only one. See this little bar that's going up along the top of the health bar. Once that bar gets filled up, as you're about to see, there's going to be a little trader that pops out. That's called a food trader, and he's going to return back to your home Matsuri, in which case it's probably going to be this one because there's no other Matsuris that are out here. Don't worry, he's going to be out any second. I can feel it right now. Any second he's coming out. Hopefully we're not losing, we're not missing out on any king snipes across the map somewhere. You just know there's going to be a king snipe right now that we're about to miss. I can feel it. Imagine if it actually happened. We should check. Yeah, don't worry, we're fine. We're committing to this bit right here. 10 minutes and 35 through. You better believe we waited for it. Scout coming through. Food trader, show me the food trader. We're going to anchor cognitively onto this food trader. Dude, where is the food trader? Why is it going so slow? Food trader, where are you? Anyway, there's a trader that comes out. He will deliver his 50 food to the Matsuri. I swear. This is the longest wait for a food trader anyone has ever had. Oh my lord, we're at 11 minutes now. I think we've been watching this for about a minute. Don't worry, the food trader will come out. And when the one food trader that never was. Is it just because I don't even know. At this point, I'm so committed, we can't leave. We have to, it's just a trader. It's just carrying food. It looks like a normal trader. He just comes back to the Matsuri. He's got population space, so that's not an issue. And even then, I don't think it would be an issue. Bro, where's your food? As you can see, it takes a long time for this to come out. And the speed is based on how many food resources are nearby. We do have a fair amount. We got 8 sheep, which is not bad. It could be better. Look, we'll come back here. We'll check on the other ones. Hopefully, no, we're still good back here. We're still good. This is incredible. Okay, I'm giving up on it. I'm giving up on it. No, you know what? We're so close. I can't believe we got attached to this. Okay, let's check in on the other side of the map just quickly. We got horsemen pushing in, elephants looking to try and defend. Back over here. Get out of here. Get out. All right, we're fine. We're okay. Dude, we've been watching this for like more than 2 minutes at this stage. I'm sorry. I know that there's people going to be in the comments saying like, you can't be overly committed to something so small and minor in detail, but at this point we're so committed. You know, it's that gambling fallacy, isn't it? Where you got to double down. It's like, well, we bet black 6 times and it hasn't been black. It's got to be black the next time. And it's like, no, it wasn't. It happened to be that world record where, dude, where is my food? Where is my food trader? Okay, I promise you. Oh, he's got no home Matsuri. No Yatai food. Hold on, it should be set as a default. I love that we're sitting here watching this. No Yatai food trader will be produced. Use the set home Matsuri ability. This is quite interesting. I've never had to use this. It's normally set by default. I wonder if Crazy Fab has turned this off. Anyway, as you can see, we would have been waiting for a lot longer if we didn't realize it. Whew, that was close. We almost wasted 3 minutes on that one, guys. Don't worry. Anyway, it's a little food trader. When he returns back here, he's going to give an AoE buff to all the villagers that are around here. All right, we might be in for a little bit of a cursed game, but that is absolutely welcome. I'm sure you guys will agree. We got the age ups coming through. We've got Lash with his age up. Let's check in and see what bonuses he's got. He's gone with the Tortgood, the Khan and Tortgoods, and then he's gone into Relic Uvus. Shamans can consume a held relic to build an Uvu, which can exceed the build limit and increases Uvu stone gather rate by 20%. In fact, one of the great things to know about the Golden Horde, can we just check in? No, still hasn't done it. That's all right, Crazy Fab. That is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I don't know if it's a bug. I don't think it's a bug, but I would just say right now, it should. It ain't. Sometimes it be like it is, but it do. Anyway, so where were we? We were here. Yeah, so stone, incredibly important for the Golden Horde. There's so many different things that you can do with it, but one of the key things that you'll look to do is get the Batu Khan out. He is your unique Khan. We also see some Tortgood coming out. So indeed, we've seen a similar opening to what we suspected. Hasn't quite gone for the 2 TC in the Fast Castle. Instead, just goes for the 1 TC in the Fast Castle, but has fishing. Which is obviously a very acceptable replacement. Castle Age is starting to come through for everybody now. Compounder the Defender coming through over on the west side for Flotter Otto. Down towards the south, Compounder the Defender comes up for Leminos. In the middle of the map, we've got No Castle Age coming through just yet for Inferno Extreme, and obviously that makes sense just because he's got a lot of neighbors, and when you've got a lot of neighbors, well, things are difficult. System of the First Hill has also come through. Let's talk a little bit about what these age ups do. Compound of the Defender, nice and easy, reduces the stone cost of buildings, and gives you an extra level on your Tughlag Fort. Try saying that fast 6 times. Let's try it. Tughlag Fort. That's an easy one. You could do that 6 times if you tried. So yes, we've got that, and then we've also got, let's check in with our Macedonians and just see how they're doing, because we do have a little bit of action over here. Just a slight, were these villagers just coming out to gather some gold? Well, I got no idea what the plan was there. So the System of the First Hill, another cool one. The way it works is quite simple. It goes sploosh. And when you sploosh a building, you get a bonus to its production. So you get an increase in how much it does. So if you sploosh a stable, then that stable is going to research things faster or build things faster. You can also sploosh a farm or sploosh a mill. Or you can sploosh, oh no, I take it back. It is a farm. It's not a mill. It's a farm or a lumber camp or a mining camp, and you can get gold or wood or food. So you get charges of your splooshes. There is a what's that window called? You know the window that I'm thinking about. When you're young, your window is very short. You got like a 7-minute window tops, not tops, but like minimum. And then as you get older, it's like there's an hour that goes by, and you're like, man, I'm still not in the mood. I can't remember what it's called, but I know it's a thing. Anyway, I'm sure like 80% of you guys will get exactly what I'm talking about right now. Anyway, we got ourselves our first real bit of action today. Inferno Extreme looking for an early kill. Now, of course, if this was Outback Octagon 4, he'd be looking to pick up extra points right here, because not only is he going for first blood, but his opponent is also, rather he is also in the feudal age, which naturally means he's going to be getting extra points. We've got to make sure we keep our king safe, and that king is now potentially under threat. Well, not potentially, he's definitely under threat. There's a lot of elephants in this base as well. We've got ourselves a little bit of healing potentially coming through as well. Now the question is anybody going to swoop in and look for an early kill? Now we do have more age ups coming in on the south. We've got the House of Learning with a whole bunch of unique technologies, which we can talk about a little bit later. I'll flash over the top of them if you haven't already seen all of them. Maybe have a pause or something like that. But as you can see, Pace Runner, one of our Macedonian favorites today, unfortunately not having the most favorite game, that is for sure. Up towards the north, however, Crazy Fab, has he... Oh, he still hasn't done it. Still hasn't set the home map. I've never seen this before. What is the deal? See, this one's been set. I don't know why this one's bugged or something. I got no idea what's happening or why it is. But anyway, that's a story for another day. Let's check in with Lash and see how he's doing. He's got a whole bunch of Kipchak. They've also got the Karash, which is nearby. And Karash is a very cheap unit that gives bonus armor to nearby units. Yeah, for anybody who's familiar with the Karash IRL, I'm sorry, anyone who's familiar with it from Age of Empires 4, it's a fun unit to play with. Anyway, elephant number continues to climb here for Inferno Extreme. He is definitely on the hunt for first blood. We've got to keep an eye on that elephants. Now, speaking of elephants, we can see that Gurkenshuk has also got some elephants in. So it really becomes a question of who is going to be getting this king kill, who's got the fastest unit, who's got the longest range to be able to snipe that king. Because Pace Runner, he is going to have to run an incredible pace if he wants to escape. Elephants now towards the top side begin the chase as the Pace Runner puts on the feet. Puts on the shoes. A couple attacks come through from some ranged units, but the king makes his way away from the elephants. He's got a little bit of a stampede coming through. Now we see those raider elephants looking to try and connect, and it's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Pace Runner has indeed made the final. The final has died. He has died. He has died. Extra population going to be going over to Inferno Extreme. He's a happy little camper, that is for sure. But, well, a happy little camper for the moment. Unfortunately, his base is about to be camped by Leminos. A whole bunch of elephants in his base. I tell you what, welcome to FFA Battle of the Elephants. Now, when it comes to Outback Octagon 4, I just want to remind you guys that you will see every single one of these new civilizations in every single game, but you'll only get to see them once. I think that's what we're going to do. I don't know if we're going to do it like that. We're going to make it so that they show up a little bit more. At least that's how I want to do it. Like, we want to have them appear. Right? We don't want to just have a game where it's like all OG civilizations. We want to see the new civilizations. We want to show us your flair. So that's essentially where we're at. But yeah, we'll have to work behind the scenes to find out exactly how we're going to do that. Because, look, there's 8 players in a game, and if you have the 4 new civs in the game, it doesn't really give you much variance in the other 4 civilizations. I mean, it does, because you've got a whole pool that you can pick from, but you're kind of seeing the same thing every game. But I guess that's what we want to see, right? We want to see these new civs. We want to see how they play. We want to see how good and effective they are. All right, well, we got problems here for Inferno Extreme, because Lion Sheep has decided that it is time to be the lion. He is no longer the sheep, and that king about to pop out here on the top side unless Inferno changes his mind. And you can see Leminos comes through and looks to get some big AoE attacks in it, gets the snipe and takes out Inferno Extreme. 2 players down, 2 kings down, and we didn't miss a single one. Doesn't that feel good? Doesn't that feel good? I tell you what, that's one of the curses of Outback Octagon, is we often miss those king kills. Now, an early lead coming out to Leminos here. He's got the 2 town centers, and I think that's probably the best opening that you can do, and we can see immediately Lash is going to be using that king ability to try and get a bit of information on where all the enemy kings are at, because he needs to start making a move. The truth is, he can't let his opponent start building up these kills, this population stack that's going to sit there and look really scary, and all of a sudden, it's gonna come out of nowhere. Now, I will also say, I had a look at the vassal mode, because I did see a lot of people in the comments suggesting, hey, Drongo, check out the vassal mode, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. The only thing I feared is that I don't know how it would translate over to Outback Octagon. It's a huge gamble for us to go into something like that. It's definitely not a small change. I think the mode is very, very interesting, and I think it does have potential, but I think we might need to explore it a little bit more. So yeah, for the moment, we will avoid the vassal mode. One of the things that I felt like is you actually had more of an advantage than what like the standard mode does, and I do like the whole concept of like having a vassal. For anyone who doesn't know how vassal mode works, I'll just briefly explain it. When you kill somebody's king, instead of them dying, what happens is they just become your vassal, and basically they become your ally, and you give them attack, or they receive attacks of like 30% of your resources. So if you gather 10 wood, they'll get 3 of that wood, and you'll only get 7. And they only get 100 population instead of the... I think that's how it works, or maybe they give you 30% of their resources that they gather, or something like that. I think that probably makes more sense if they're a vassal, right? You wouldn't be paying them to be a vassal. Anyway, so I'm assuming that they give 30% of their resources to you, and then they've got 100 population that they can play with. And like, in my heart of hearts, I was like, well, hold on a minute. So you're telling me that, you know, in OG FFA, we got an extra 50 population just for killing a king, and now you're basically getting 100 king, or 100 population, and a whole another ally that can APM for you. And one of the things I noticed is in these vassal game modes is the games typically ended very early. Just simply because often it would end up in like a 5 versus 3 situation, and games would go for like between 30 and 40 minutes, which is okay, but at the end of the day, I want to see like a huge army of elephants, and I don't think that's really gonna work with the vassal mode. Anyway, we got ourselves another attack coming through. Lion Sheep gonna try his best to defend here. Keep in mind, we have seen Flutter Otto do some work already this game. He's gonna attempt now to take out Lion Sheep. A lot of elephants in here. I tell you what, I don't think Lion Sheep's got much of a chance. This is a huge army coming through. Keep in mind, Flutter Otto is still age 3. Both of these players still age 3. We've got the Golden Horn Tower here. Let's talk a little bit about this before it goes down. The Golden Horn Tower is now a defensive building equipped with crossbow emplacements and has a large line of sight. It generates patches of crossbow for free over time and detects units in stealth or disguise. So it's a pretty cool landmark. Does a whole bunch of things. Basically think of it like a Chinese keep, but that's going to be it in the end. I think the king was trying to do a little bit of a runner right there and just came out a little bit preemptively. I didn't actually see it, but I'm sure if you were paying attention, you probably did. Anyway, what is the lesson that we've learned of this game so far? I'll give you 5 seconds to tell me what the lesson is that we've learned. Okay, all right, there you go, almost there. Okay, good, you learned. The lesson is don't spawn in the middle. Do not spawn in the middle. If you spawn in the middle, you're not going to have a good time because you're going to have too many neighbors, and then there's going to be a crime, and it's going to be in your base, and it's going to be sad. That is that's essentially our lesson for today, or at least our lesson from this game. Of course, we have seen those games where a single player picks the Holy Roman Empire, spawns in the middle, gets 42 relics, and just laughs as his opponent. tries to attempt to take them out with there's infinite amounts of keeps and outposts and culverin, and actually culverin have been changed since the last time I really FFA'd, and that was quite a while ago. So maybe Holy Roman Empire probably aren't as oppressive as they used to be, because they were particularly oppressive because of the culverin, because you could just have a whole bunch of culverin and a whole bunch of outposts and keeps, and you had boiling oil, so any units that tried to dive, there was just no chance. And then you'd have the cannon emplacements providing AoE coverage, the culverin able to take out any of the enemy siege units. There was a lot that could really, you could defend with just basically, well, I want to say nothing, but obviously there's more than nothing. Anyway, let's check back in on the north. Yatai still yet to determine its Matsuri. Hold on, if we click on Crazy Fab. Yeah, I don't know what's happening here. This one particular Yatai never got its home Matsuri appointed. Anyway, we got Kipchaks. Let's talk about Kipchaks. Kipchaks, ranged horse archer unit. We can see they're not like the Mangudai in the sense that they don't move and fire. They have to shoot and fire. So think more of like the Rus horse archer is probably the best way to think about them. But one thing to note is they do have multiple attacks. So they do 15 base damage, but then they also do 2 follow-up attacks that do 8 damage each. Now against an elite raider elephant, they don't really have, well, they've got quite a bit of ranged armor, so it doesn't really add that much damage, but they're exceptional against things like villagers, against low armored units. But now, we got a little bit of problem for Gurkenshuk. You can see that, unfortunately, Lash is a little bit sidetracked here. I don't know whether or not he's aware of it. Let me quickly bring him up. He sees these elephants towards the south. He's dealing with multiple sets of elephants. Meanwhile, towards the north, mounted samurai of the elite status are coming through. That king, completely undetected, ladies and gentlemen. Gurkenshuk goes down, and once again, Leminos picks up the kill. That's +2 for Leminos right now, sitting very much likely to be our favorite this game. He does have Flotter Otto in the west with an extra 50 population as well. Meanwhile, Lash continues to be a player with no extra population. There's a player to his north, Crazy Fab, who we could potentially look at taking out. A little bit of aggression has just happened, so who knows exactly what the plan is. The plan at this point in time looks like the Kipchak might start to be a little bit annoying. You can see just how much damage it's got. Now, I will just say, I don't know whether or not it's bugged or what's happening, but it looks like it's got AoE. And I think the reason why this is the second arrows are firing at different targets. Like, it will fire the first arrow at one target, and then the other 2 arrows will go to other targets. I think that's what's happening. But that doesn't really make sense if you attack move something, because normally if you attack move, the way that it works is it attacks the closest unit. Or at least I think that's how it works. I may be wrong. I have been known to have been wrong occasionally, once or twice, in Age of Empires 4 history. All right. Stonewall coming up. I don't think it would have mattered. He would have found a way through anyway, but he's going to have a little bit faster of a route through today. Now, there's a very simple rule that you've got to follow if you're Leminos right now, and that is keep your king and the castle, and don't let the dirty rascal attack it. That's it. That's basically the way that it works, but that's quite a bit of damage that's coming through here. Now, keep in mind, they do get that triple attack, so technically they're doing about 150 siege damage for every single time they attack, which is quite a bit here. But I suspect this will be worked down. Do we have boiling oil? We don't have boiling oil. We do have a sprinkled emplacement back here. Actually, I don't think you can get boiling oil on the Tughlag fort. I'd have to double check that, but I'm 99% sure you can't get boiling oil on the Tughlag fort, which is an interesting design decision, but I guess it does also make sense. Why does that make sense? I don't know, but it just kind of makes sense, right? Anyway, focusing down these units on the back line, you can see he's got so much damage here. 17 bow damage, a huge amount of damage back here. But this is where the main action is. Reinforcements getting picked up, a bunch of Tord goods back here. And of course, that king remains safely inside. Leminos, all he has to do right now is basically just build these walls up, make sure that this never happens again, and really just focus on building his economy. And the other thing is convincing everyone else in the game that you're not a threat, especially Flotter Otto. So you want to be saying to Flotter Otto, I'm dead. I lost all my villagers. Because, like, if we check in with him, he absolutely lost all of his villas. He's got 83 villas. That's totally lost all of his villas. So you got to convince him, and you just got to say, Lash just killed me. I'm dead. Don't focus on me. Focus on Lash. You got to turn your attention elsewhere, brother. But I remember that one thing that Fitzbro said. I think it's a quote from Star Wars. He's like, you're too powerful to be left alive. So words to the effect of that. And it's very true. If someone's got the extra 100 population, you can't be leaving them alive. You just got to take them out. And we can see right now that there's been a little bit of A little bit of confusion here as forces, Pink forces, Lash's forces have been taken out by Flotter Otto, and Flotter Otto in the end gets taken out by Lemonos, and Lemonos stays alive. So Lemonos, what's your goal right now? Your goal is to wall up, keep your economy safe, and build up. That's pretty much it. Slowly secure resources, look to acquire gold across the map. That's essentially it. That's all he really needs to do. He's got a massive lead at the moment. All that extra population, we can see he's already up to 240 pop here. Let's check in with his nearest opponent. You can see Flotter Otto over here with plenty of population, lots of resources as well in the gas tank. He is looking very good, but one player we haven't checked in with in a while is our northern player here with his Yatai still. A sad little Yatai yet to produce its food trader. Don't worry, one day. The story of the man with the food trader. We got the Badu Khan right here. Let's see exactly how much. Actually, that's not the Badu Khan. I apologize. That is the... what's it called? I can get it. The Daimyo. That is the Daimyo. At least I think that's the Daimyo. Hold on. Let me see. Where, this guy right here. No, that's not the Daimyo. There's the Daimyo right there. He's very cool looking. That is for sure. So he provides a bonus to all nearby units, depending on the age that you're in. So he's got quite a bit. Actually, we could check in with the Sengoku and just see exactly what kind of strategy he's looking to play. There's a whole bunch of units making their way towards the north here. Elephants sounding off quite large. Let's check in and see which way he's gone. We're right on board with Crazy Fab here. So it looks like we've got, at the very least, 2. Is there a way to see maybe on the villages? Yes. So we can see he's gone into 3 of the Takeda clan for the cavalry and 2 into the ranged units. So this is going to provide bonuses to those units. Of course, it's going to mean that these are mutually exclusive bonuses in the sense that you can't get infantry bonuses or specific infantry bonuses now. But of course, you will be able to get plenty of cavalry bonus. We can see that deflective armor has now come through, and plenty of Torta goods making their way towards the 4 here for Lash as he tries to take out Crazy Fab. A defensive castle going to be thrown down on the backside. Keep in mind, he's also got the Sword Hunt statue behind this, which is going to reduce the cost of his daimios, but also going to increase the attack speed bonus. However, we can see that he's having a little bit of trouble defending. There are so many units here at the front. The Taganashima Ashigaru is going to try their best to hold on. Now, I didn't actually realize until someone pointed this out in the YouTube comments. This is literally just a crossbowman replacement that looks like a musketeer. It's just a crossbow. It's just a crossbow. I thought it was a hand cannon like a janissary. It's not. It's literally just a crossbow. I don't know how I didn't make the connection, but anyway, thank you for telling me. Meanwhile, towards the south, elephant v elephant. I guess this is what you expected when 2 Tughlag Dynasty players spawn next to each other. Let's check in with that king, see where he is. He's back here in the main town center. Now, keep in mind, when it comes to the Sengoku Daimyo, you don't have access to those town center upgrades that the standard Japanese have. Part of the reason why playing the OG Japanese was so good was simply because you could have a town center with 1,000,000 health on it, and there was nothing your opponent could do except for burn it down, or not burn it down. And today, that is not the case. You can get, I think it's about 10,000 health on a castle here, we can see. Only 5,500. So it means that there's a lot less health in play. But once again, the Kipchak archers make their way through. At the back, we've got the Sake Brewery here, working these villages, gathering gold. The way that this works is, if you played Age of Empires 3, it's like a plantation, each one of these. It is a farm that gives gold instead of giving food. Very cool. And these will respawn. If they do die, they will respawn. I don't know what the timer is for them to respawn. Map timer. The brewery will try and create a Tojo map when the timer ends. There you go. So, looks like about maybe 30 seconds. Your question has been answered. Let's check in on that south side and see how we're going. And this is exactly what I suspected would happen. Flotter Otto, he knows he's got the tempo advantage. So the most important thing in this situation is ignore the cries from your opponent. Ignore the cries that say, do not attack me. I have been killed. Do not. There are larger threats here. No, the only threat is you, my friend. 300 population is a huge amount. You're too dangerous to be left alive. Meanwhile, Badu Khan, behind the scenes for Lash. I tell you what, Lash, despite being Conqueror 3, doesn't look like he's in the best spot this game. Still no kill. Having trouble taking down opponents. We haven't seen him been able to even get close to a king kill. The closest he got was down towards the south here when Gurkenshurk unfortunately got taken out. Once again, I'm just going to remind you guys, if you haven't already, go check out Lash. I'll leave a link in the description. He is an amazing creator. I actually met him over in Germany. He's a very friendly guy. Probably one of the friendliest guys you'll ever meet. It is incredible how friendly he is. Just a very sweet, nice guy. Yes, lovely fella. But he is having a little bit of trouble here. Now, one thing to note that's interesting about the Golden Horde that we haven't touched on is they can actually build walls. Now, they can only build palisade walls. They can't build stone walls. But, hey, they can actually build walls. When I first saw this, I was like, is this an oversight? Like, why can they build walls? That's kind of wild. Well, there you go. But is Lash potentially getting his first kill today? Where did that king go? Where did the king... Oh, Lord, where did the king go? He's down here? Yeah, he's down here. He's made a little bit of a run. He could potentially go out the side here, but you're only running towards your enemy's base, so... At the end of the day, which way does it go? Meanwhile, down towards the south, we got elephant on elephant action. This is exactly what you came for. FFA of the greatest. Oh my Lord, look at Lemnos. Lemnos going wild right now. Huge amount of elephants in queue here. He's got 12 elephants in queue, a whole bunch on the front line, and just a bunch of healing that's going through. Elite healer elephants, tell me about it. Main town center going to be going down. Lash going to be wondering, where did that bloody king go? Hold on a minute. There's no king in here. Kipchak's going to be able to claim a couple more villages. And unfortunately for Crazy Fab at this stage of the game, it is all but well and truly over. Unfortunately, the Sengoku Daimyo does go down today. And now once again, the king gets spotted out. Lash says, oh, that's where you are. You've run all the way down here. You want to try and get these cavalry units down. And then, of course, the king's going to do a great escape out the back. But just remember, there is absolutely nowhere you are going, sir. Apart from a graveyard, it is inevitable because this army will not stop. We can now see Lash's yet to make a decision about which way he will go. Villagers going to get eaten alive. And I think the king may have run into a dead end. No, technically there is a way out, but I think Crazy Fab has realized, you know what? I will allow you to execute me. He deletes it. He says, okay, come on, come and get me. Fine, you may continue. Oh, that was close. I think it's only the first one that matters. I don't know if that bug still exists, but anyway. Let us pull up. Who are we gonna ride on board? Maybe Lemnos. I feel like he's probably in the best spot here. Now, every single player at this stage, the final three, has got one kill. In fact, let's reintroduce our players for you because this is it. We're 35 minutes through the final three. This is when politics actually becomes the most important because it is no longer just a 1v1 or a 1v1v1v1. It is essentially, it's a three-way tie. And you've got to convince somebody to attack the enemy. You don't know who the enemy is. They don't either. And it's about convincing them. So let's take a look and see who should we gang up on. So, what do we know, as a matter of fact? We know that Flotter Otto's had a pretty good time over here. He was beautifully positioned in the corner. He's been building up for a while. He's got lots of resources stacked up and a massive economy. He's got one kill under his belt. A beautiful defensive position. Is he the guy that we should attack? No. Let's check in with Lash. Lash over on the east side in the color pink. Big army. Continues to build. He's up to 140 military population. He's got a single king kill. In fact, he just got it. Fair bit of resources in the bank. Is he the guy that we should kill? No, he's not. He's only got a single king kill. Who is the guy that we should focus? Well, it's Lemnos. And that is because he's got 2 king kills. And he is by far the biggest threat. That extra 50 population might not seem like much. But you've got to remember, if you've got an extra 50 population over your ally, or over your enemy rather, and let's say they've got 100 military pop. You take that extra 50 pop, you put it all in the military, you've now got 150 military population. You've got 50% more military than they do. That means that when it comes to big fights, you've got a significantly larger army. And because of the way that that works, it means that you're able to kill the enemy's army faster and therefore retain more of yours, which means that you're spending less resources on replenishing your army, and at the same time your enemy is spending more because they're losing more. So because of that, it is always the correct decision, almost always, the correct decision to focus the man or the woman who has decided to kill the most people in the lobby. And in this case, it's Lemnos. So I would not be surprised if there is a chat going on right now between these 3 players where Lemnos is attempting to justify why he shouldn't be attacked, and the other 2 are convincing each other that, hey, it's a really good idea to attack this guy, and I suspect that's going to be the case. On top of that, we've also got, well, positioning problems, and that is that Lemnos is, well, Lash can really choose whoever he likes to attack here. He doesn't really have to go either way. He's quite open to be able to attack anyone. However, it does definitely look like he's moving that more southern route, that is for sure. He's got quite an easy route up here, actually. I do like the ability of him coming here, dropping bombards, a whole bunch of Keshiks into the backline, and then just making your way all the way down to the king. This is a really easy way to access. You're always got to be careful with stone walls against water, just because if your enemy's got a whole bunch of bombards in a transport, it is easily going to be over. Now, of course, that's the good old-fashioned way. You can always just run through the middle. which is another way that you can do it. Now, let's check in with Lemnos and just see. So he's sitting at 163 military population. I think that's about right where he should be. He's got only 2 elephants in queue. So I'd love to see for Lemnos a whole bunch more production. I want to see, oh, how many production buildings does he have? It's really not much, is it? 4 stables and 4 siege workshops? Jeez Louise, somebody got to call this guy up and tell him, hey, you got to make more production, sir. When this army dies, you're going to need to replace it quickly. This could be a problem for Lemnos because he's definitely in an advantageous position. However, I do fear his lack of production will hurt him. Now, compare that to Flotter Otto, who's nearby. His production, oh, absolutely beautiful. 13 stables, 14 raxes, 4 siege workshops. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Ville's going to be going down here. Can be viewed as a bad thing or a good thing, because it's a good thing because you're just going to replace these villages with military, which is going to allow you to defend more effectively. Bad thing because, well, hey, we were using those. Let's check in with Lash and see how many production buildings he's got. 12 archery ranges, 1 stable, 1 racks, and 3 siege workshops. Could definitely be a little bit higher. We can see he's got a whole bunch that's in the queue at the moment, but do keep in mind, there are a lot of bonuses that allow you to produce units faster. So we can see right now, he's got the stockyard edict that is available, or that he's using at the moment. So he's getting that extra gold that's coming through every minute. So it works out to be about 10 gold per minute, which, for each villager, it does add up. If we look right now, he's got 27 vills on for not a huge amount. So it works out to be about 270 gold per minute. Is he going to hit the boar? I thought he was going to execute the boar right there. That poor boar. And then he was like, you know what, boar? You've lived 40 minutes through this game. We will permit you to live another minute longer. Okay, Lash. Now beginning to come through and really showing his Conqueror 3 prowess here as he prepares undoubtedly for the Outback Octagon. Lash now taking out a couple of villages on the way through here. More vills on the migration. Able to pick them all off, and you can see Lemnos finally reacting to it. Unfortunately, they've all gone down. Lemnos, how are you doing on that vill count, or on that military count? He's looking okay, but his population's down significantly. You can see he's got more units in the queue, but he is training over time. Just needs to get that spam going. That is the fact. Now Elephant's going to be coming out. All of the bombards on the back line able to focus down those elephants one by one. We can see them come through. Still not able to focus them, not able to one-shot them completely, but the Kipchaks, look at the Kipchaks as they dish out the damage. As long as he's got units on the front, we can see a couple of tributes in here. Have we got any Karash? Let's double check and see. Any Karash? There's no Karash to get that extra armor. That's okay, we'll allow it. But the elephant number continues to fall. The Kipchaks at the back. He might have to do a bit of micro. We can see that the units are starting to take a little bit of damage on the front line. Badu Khan goes down. And now the elephants, the raging stampede, makes its way towards the middle of the map. And we can see the bombards having to retreat, realizing, hey, there's probably a little bit too many elephants here. We may have annoyed the Tughlag dynasty. And indeed you have, sir. Now this is where it gets difficult. Because what's going to happen here is Lash is going to communicate with Flotter Otto. He's saying, hey, bud, all of the army for our opponent, Lemnos, is over here. You should be attacking him. You should be killing him. You should be in his base killing his dudes. But that's not the case. At least not today. Maybe, who knows? Maybe he's not doing that. Maybe he's playing honorably. Maybe he's just saying, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to slowly take him out one by one. You can see the villager there, unfortunately going down. Lash doing a wonderful job of just continuing to kite. I think the correct decision in this situation was for Lemnos to commit 100% to killing this army. You can absolutely catch these bombards. 0.86 movement speed. Oh, he's bumped out a whole bunch of worker elephants to the 4 worker elephants. And now the healer elephants together with the worker elephants and the war elephants. Where are the ballista elephants? That's what I want to know. You know the best part about these worker elephants? They don't take any population. And you can just keep replacing them. Once they go down, you just click on this button a whole bunch more. They got no training. Oh, boom, headshot. Took like a bad fort. I tell you what, that was a took like a bad moment right there. You can also do it from the town center if you so choose. But moving forward now, these elephants, you can see he continues to get kited, but now the elite raider elephants are going to try their hand and always somehow manage to get all of these units to the front. He's going to go for a stampede over the top of all of them. The worker elephants together looking to try and assist, just being annoying, getting in there and saying, hey, soak up some damage. Don't mind if I do. All of these elephants now able to take out the bombards. No bombards left, and with no bombards left, there's no threat of siege. With no threat of siege, it means the king is safe, and it means, of course, we can return back to our humble abode. Unfortunately, our humble abode is no longer quite humble. Hold on a minute. Were you using the walls of your allies as your own, or sorry, the walls of your neighbor as your own walls? And now it has come against you, my friend. I like that Lemnos was just like, hey, you know what? I'm not too fussed if you want to just... We can share stone walls. I'll let you control them, but we'll share them. Oh, look what we've got. We've got Amir warriors right here. Why have they got such reduced health? It's because they're so far away from the Tughlag fort. You got to get closer to the Tughlag fort. They lose their health when they do that as well. Cannons, bombards, mono, facing off, and now we can see that focus is really coming through. Flotter Otto, he's looking to try and pick up this kill. I'm not going to say this final kill, but he's definitely thinking about it. You can absolutely go for a sneaky play here if you wanted to. This king is asking for it. I would just be bringing like 5-6 bombards into the back here, making sure I've secured this backside, and then just be rotating them through on that Tughlag fort. He's got plenty of options here as to how he plays this out, but the reinforcements continue to come. How's Lemnos doing with regard to reinforcements? He's got 56 elephant raiders in. Now, how many stables has he got? Oh, he's still got 4 stables. Still got 4 stables, so just to give you an idea, that means he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 elephant raiders in a single stable, and that's across 4 stables. That is a sad state of stables. But the defense continues. He's holding on. He is doing a decent job in defending for this point in time. So I suspect Lash is probably going to be looking elsewhere. We see the Kipchak number continues to climb. How many Kipchaks would you like? And Lash just says yes. Now, there's one thing I need to change in here. Just give me a quick second here. I'm just going to go into the options. I need to go into settings, UI, and I want to change health bars to smart health bars. Let's just do that, because we don't need to see all these health bars. I want to see beautiful armies. I don't want to see health bars. And the only reason that's on is because I was playing. And it was like, I need to know the low health units so I can move them to the back. We don't need to know the low health units now. Let's get those ugly UI elements out of here. Let's get all the UI out of here. No, we kind of need the UI. We need the mini-map at the very least. Look at the amount of damage. Dude, these worker elephants have got 9 armor. These things are just absolute tanks, bro. 625 health, and they come out for free instant. Well, not free, but like, their population space free. But I mean, it doesn't matter if you got 300 pop and you're sitting 100 under. Kipchak's able to work it down. He's got so many in here. How many are we talking? Let's double check. Right on board with Lash just quickly here. 118 Kipchaks. Okay, sure. That works. Not bad. Not a bad amount of Kipchaks. Now, town center back here, 9,000 health for Lash. So this is relatively safe, and he is looking to get cannon emplacements, springwood emplacements in these fortified outposts. But we don't really see one specific location that is just... Hold on. Which landmark is dying? He destroyed Lemnos? Lash destroyed Lemnos' landmark? Oh, the Hisar Academy down here. I was a little bit confused, wondering... Hold on a minute. What's going on? What's going on over here? Well, now we get to see them. Finally, they get to come out, the elite ballista elephant. Now, they don't really get a whole lot of damage against buildings. I'll say that. One of the disappointing things about these units, but they're particularly effective against infantry. Not a whole lot of infantry coming out from the elephant, but undeniably the coolest unit that there is. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, and they move forward for a little bit of a kiss, as all Springolds do. Once in their life, they need to come forward for a Springold kiss, and the ballista, well, just like many a Springold before them, decide to move forward and make their way in for a big smooch. A big sloppy smooch. That's what I say to my son. Say, give Nana a big smooch, and he goes, and gives her a big sloppy one. Oh, nothing better than that, is there? Poor Nana. Poor Nana. All right. Well, let's check back in on this south side and see how we're doing. Actually, you know what? I want to check in with Lash and see how the progression is going here, because keep in mind, while Lash is definitely not in top position here, with regard to skill, he's definitely one of the favorites, because he's obviously Conqueror 3, and not just Conqueror 3, I should say that, he's Conqueror 3 plus, with each plus representing 100 ELO over the top of that 1600 threshold for Conqueror 3. So he is a very, very talented player. Let's see how he looks to leverage this late game with the Golden Horde, and whether or not he's able to really channel his inner Zerg, his inner Horde, and overpower his enemies. Now, keep in mind, the longer these two continue fighting down here, the better it gets for Lash. It's exactly what you want in his position, and one of the coolest things that you can do if you're going to go and attack Lemnos right here. This is one of the ways that you can obviously finish the game, but you can also go for a cheeky little backstab. If you do that, you've got to be very confident, though. Of course, you know exactly what I'm thinking. You probably, I don't know if you'd want to use Kipchaks for it. I think you'd probably want to use Kashyyyks instead. He's got a couple of options as to where he can run. But he's going to start working through the walls. Attack from both sides. Lemnos getting torn apart. The slow and steady fall, one by one. And once again, Lash is going to check out the location of those kings. Where are they all? Worker elephants just chilling out over here. And of course, the king's back in the town center. He knows exactly where everything is. And we got ourselves a whole bunch of Tughlag that are out here. So he's mixing in a little bit of melee units. And is he just going to make his way through the base? I think he just wants to go straight for the king. Mangonels are coming out. Huge amount of damage on the back line. Keep in mind, if they've got their upgrades, they don't have their upgrades. We're not even going to look at them. Melee Cav just goes straight off and says, "G'day, how you guys doing?" Kipchak's making their way towards the back, looking to try and get through. Now, he does have Karash with him today. The Raider elephants have got 8 armor. Now, keep in mind, we do 10 bow damage for our secondary attack, so they're really not getting much out of that. But hey, 2 damage is 2 damage. Well, it's technically 4 damage if we think about it that way. And now just focusing down the Tughlag fort here with all the Kipchaks. He says, you know what? Oh my lord, it's unstoppable. Oh, the Golden Horde is actually unstoppable. Look at because you get the extra attack, you're basically doing triple the siege damage. King gets sniped, and that's it. He sieges down the Tughlag fort with 5,000 health with his Kipchaks in just a split second. All he needed was the bombards to break through the walls, and the Kipchaks did the rest. This might be the greatest FFA unit we have ever seen, because it is fast, it has high damage, and most importantly, it has 3 attacks. It is a Jukunu on wheels. Wow. This, oh my lord. Oh, you've excited something in me, Lash, right now. The fact that you do not need any siege to actually break down a keep is what makes this so incredible. All you need all you need that bombard for is to break down that wall. You knock down that front gate, and as long as that gate goes down, you're absolutely fine with just Kipchaks. That is amazing, because they are quick units. 1.62 movement speed. They can't fire while moving, but they can definitely shoot and move. That is for sure. So now for Lash, the question is whether or not you're going to defend your wonder or not. Oh no, don't tell me. Oh, don't tell me that. Oh my lord. Their wonder doesn't cost stone as well, which just makes it even better. Oh, this civilization may be the best FFA civilization there is, which is kind of wild for a civilization that doesn't have stone walls. But when you think about the power of the Kipchak, that is incredible. For me, the highlight is the fact that the reason why this is so strong, okay, is because normally what would happen is you'd break through these stone walls with bombards on the shore, and then the Kipchak would run through, and then they'd slowly be sieging down the town center, and you'd just laugh at them as they try and do it. The thing is, they do it 3 times faster than your normal horse archer or Keshik, or not Keshik, but your horse archer or Mangadai, any kind of ranged unit, right? That's the reason why it's so powerful. The new king of the FFA, are we potentially seeing it right here? Ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye out on the Golden Horde, that is for sure. Lash now going to try his best to deal with the remnants of the elephants that are on this map. We had 4 Tughlag Dynasty players in this game. A single one remains, and the question is Lash going to be able to take them out today? He started off slowly, but the pace is building. Spearmen now coming out from him as well, and look at the amount of units. Oh my lord, look at the amount of spam coming out from Lash. He is streaming them across the map here. Riding on board with Flotter Otto, he is maxed out completely. Lash on the other side will quickly check in with him. He's maxed out as well. And now the units continue making their way forward. He's got the elite upgrade through. Plenty of units on the front. Now all of the elephants getting easily dealt with. The Kipchak elephants, he's starting to run over the top of his opponent. Lash finally finds his final gear, his 5th gear, and says it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for us to win. Now continuing to push across the center of the map. Elephants going down. Flotter Otto's got to be below top. Yeah, he's at 220 population at the moment. Trying to keep it together. How does he even play into this? You've got an opponent that's got a larger population. He's got a wonder. I think you've got to be thinking about sacred sites here, and you can see that that's exactly what Flotter Otto has got. So how do you play in the sacred sites? You typically want to play defensive units, range units. Hand cannoneers are wonderful, but you're up against the Kipchak archer here, which is undoubtedly incredibly powerful against a unit like the hand cannoneer, because they are very cheap, there's so many of them, and they've got all of that damage that just rips through ranged units like the hand cannoneer. So what other option do you have? Maybe you could look at playing into men-at-arms. It could be an option. Yeah, Lancers could be good here as well. Plus 149 health is definitely nothing to sniff at. Let's see exactly how this goes for him. But I think undoubtedly he needs to secure the last sacred site. He's got 2 already, so it's that 3rd sacred site. We're just keeping an eye out. We've got the sacred tracker over here, guys. As you can see, beautiful UI. It just uses so little space and tells us so much information. 2 out of 3 sacred sites captured here. We'll make it smaller for the moment. Oh, wonder tracker, for anybody wondering. 1157, 1152. We couldn't afford 1 second intervals, so we've just got 5 second intervals here, unfortunately. That's all right. That's okay. So he needs to capture this last sacred site. You can see him standing on the site now with the healer elephants. Going to try his best to defend this position. More units rallying in. He's got a significant military disadvantage. Lash going to continue reinforcing. We can hear those numbers as they stream across the river. Maybe they stream across the stream, but the spears on the front, the Kipchak on the back. It looks amazing as they try and make their way through, and you can just see how powerful this Golden Horde is, forcing him off the sacred site. I think at this point, he probably realizes there ain't no way we are pushing over this sacred site. Ain't no way this wonder tracker is going to stop. Let me pull it up. 11 minutes. He's only got another minute to go before he can secure this, and then that's it. There's no way he undercuts him. And now the Kipchaks clean up the rest of this Tughlag army. Ladies and gentlemen, the inaugural FFA winner is the man himself. It's Lash. Make sure you go check him out. I'll leave a link in the description. And of course, make sure you check out Outback Octagon 4, returning November 19, 12 p.m. UTC, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and 1 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.